The other day, I saw a video by TV and movie star Tim Allen in which he talks about his experience spending a little over a year reading through the Bible. His comment was interesting. He said, "The Bible isn't what you think it is." And he went on to say he had assumed the Bible was full of sermons. Today, I want to look at the tragic death of King David's nephew. It's about as far from a sermon as you can get, but it may still have something we can learn from it. If you've seen the other videos on this channel, you know it grows out of my research for the biblical historical fiction series I'm writing, Age of the Kingdom. 3 books are available now, and the story of the tragic death of David's nephew comes from the 3rd book of the series, The Eternal Kingdom. If you know the story of King David, you know that he became a national hero after he killed the giant Goliath, which led to King Saul seeing him as a threat, so he spent 9 years trying to kill him. David had to flee and hide in a cave where he was joined by hundreds of people who were also outcasts of the kingdom. He turned the men into a crack fighting force that eventually served briefly as the personal guard of King Achish in Philistine Gath. These men were intensely loyal to him and included many of his relatives, including his 3 nephews, sons of David's older sister Zeruiah. Joab was the oldest, Abishai was the middle son, and Asahel was the youngest. Asahel was always gung-ho and ready to go. The other brothers were leaders, but they were also cynical. Asahel seemed to be the light of the family. When King Saul was killed at the Battle of Gilboa, David was crowned king over the tribe of Judah in Hebron. The men who had joined him in the wilderness formed the nucleus of the army of the new kingdom, led by Joab. David was not made king of all Israel yet because Saul's commander-in-chief and right-hand man, Abner, crowned Ishbosheth, Saul's surviving son, king of the northern tribes. This instantly ignited a civil war, and the armies of North and South met in their first battle at the town of Gibeon in the territory of Saul's tribe of Benjamin. Long story short, David's men routed Abner's army, and that's where I want to pick up, reading on page 57 of The Eternal Kingdom. Hold the line. Abner was determined to inspire the men of Israel's northern tribes to stand firm and fight. But David's Judahites were coming too fast. He pulled the reins to turn his donkey to survey the field. The battle was not going well. Then the donkey shuddered and fell with him. An arrow had struck the poor animal in the neck and must have severed a vital artery, for the faithful mount lay shaking and quiet, great volumes of blood coming from the wound. Abner saw he would now have to fight on foot. With great difficulty, he pulled his right leg out from under the dying mount. Some of his men were fleeing from the field, but Abner rose and called, "Men of Israel, stand and fight." As he said it, a Judahite charged toward him with sword raised. Abner jabbed at him with his spear, striking him in the chest. The man fell and did not rise again. He turned to face another and used the spear staff to parry a sickle sword swung at his head. He stabbed the man in the neck with the bronze-clad butt of his spear, and the man fell. Abner looked forward and saw a number of David's men rushing toward him and realized all was lost. He turned to run after his men, most of whom had already fled. King David's nephew Asahel slashed the neck of a soldier from a northern tribe, then turned to see Abner fleeing. He immediately gave chase, calculating the angle he would need to run to intersect the line being traveled by the older man. Asahel knew if he caught and killed Abner, the fighting would end and his uncle David could take the throne. but he was surprised at how fast Abner could run at his age. Abner sensed he was being pursued. He quickly stole a look back and thought he recognized his pursuer. "Is that you, Asahel?" he wheezed. "It is." Asahel's voice was strong. "It is only a matter of time until he catches up." Abner's chest heaved and his breath came in painful, hot bursts. He didn't know how long he could continue this pace. "Turn aside to the right or left, take on a younger man, and strip him of his weapons," Abner gasped. There was no response from Asahel. "He is getting closer." "Stop chasing me," Abner pleaded. "Why should I strike you down? How could I face your brother, Joab?" Asahel didn't answer, so Abner grasped his spear with both hands and suddenly stopped cold, leaning back, planting his feet, and holding the spear's bronze-clad butt behind him. Asahel's face showed surprise as the relatively dull butt of the spear sliced through his midsection. He could not stop, so the spear impaled him, going all the way through his torso. His speed continued to carry him forward, so Abner let go of the spear as Asahel tumbled to the ground. Abner saw that Asahel lay still, his tunic drenched in a spreading circle of crimson. Then Abner saw David's men in pursuit, so he ran again, leaving his spear. He was relieved to see the men stopped where Asahel lay, so he could slow enough to catch his breath, though he kept moving. The death of Asahel was obviously a real tragedy for David's extended family, but there would be more tragedy because Joab and Abishai would later assassinate Abner at a time when he was trying to make peace, and that almost derailed the effort to bring the northern tribes to support David as king of all Israel. Joab would continue to be a problem for David, and they didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things. So like I said, the Bible is most definitely not just a book of sermons. Many of the stories are as raw and brutal as you will find anywhere, but they show that God can use even the most flawed people if they will submit and serve Him. That's all for now. If you like this kind of content, click the like button and subscribe to my channel. See you next time for more stories from the age of the kingdom.